Welcome back to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be going through my prediction for the 2024 presidential election. We'll be starting out on the West Coast and move eastward. I've already characterized the likely and safe seats for both the Republican and the Democratic Party, and today we'll just be going through the ever-important swing states that will really determine the victor in the 2024 presidential election. So we'll get started with the state of Nevada. So Nevada, the polls seem to indicate that Trump is leading, and I could definitely see a possibility where he is able to win the state. It'll likely be by a pretty small margin. Let's add a tilt margin. I think that's likely to be the margin for Trump as if the election were held today on June 12th, 2024. But we'll have to see how it ends up going. I could certainly see any of these swing states going to the other party respectively, but for now, I do think that the state of Nevada is likely going to be in the Trump column. The state of Arizona is a bit of a different story. They have an abortion referendum on the ballot that I think that will likely be a support for the Biden campaign as well as the Democratic Senate campaign, Ruben Gallo, and he is going against Kari Lake. So I do think that the Senate race is going to go to the Democratic Party, but I think if the election were held today, it would narrowly go to Trump. And we'll have to see how it ends up going, though, on election night. Next up, we get to the state of Wisconsin. So in the state of Wisconsin, Biden, the latest polls have him up by 1 or 2 points. Regardless, it's going to be a close race. This was one of the closest states in the 2020 election, but I do think that at the moment, it is likely going to be tilt in the Democratic column for the Biden campaign. Next up, we get to the state of Michigan. The Biden campaign has seen some losses here with a variety of key voter groups with his handling of the war in Palestine, and we'll have to see how this state ends up voting, but at the moment I do think it is likely going to be in the tilt Biden column as well. I think that the Rust Belt is likely to vote together. They've voted together for quite a few elections, and that trend is likely to continue. Next up, we get to the state of Georgia. I don't think Biden has much of a chance here. I could even see this being a lean, but for now we'll go with a tilt characterization for the Republican Party. It was the closest state, I believe, in the 2020 election, and Trump's margin came close, but I do think that with Biden's unpopularity, there is likely to be a better outcome for the Republican Party in the state of Georgia on the presidential level. Next up, we get to the ever-important state of Pennsylvania. Its 19 electoral college votes can grant a victor to either party, and I do think, like I mentioned earlier, it is likely to go with the rest of the Rust Belt, and will likely be a tilt margin for the Biden campaign, being his home state and all. I think that the state is likely to, it'll certainly be narrow, but I do believe it'll likely go into the Biden column. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions about this map. I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section, and don't forget to